Welcome to the Silver Scene, a talk show for seniors by seniors, starring Bill Sherrill. Join us for fine wine and a great meal here at Sip Restaurant and Jazz in historic downtown Leesburg, where Bill and his guests will share great conversation and interesting stories. From here to the villages, we will explore the colorful tapestry of our Tri-County area. Join Bill and his guests, Doug Ringgold, who will be talking about foam insulation. Allison Wheatley from Dreamcatcher's Horse Rescue will share her story, and Joe Baltzell, Mr. Entertainer. Now, here's Bill.
Thank you, Oat, and welcome to the Silver Scene, folks. Oat, are you keeping tabs with the political scene that's playing out in front of us these days?
Yes, Bill. Actually, it's very important to me.
Yeah, so you're watching the debates?
Yes, sir.
I kind of figured you were for the kind of guy that was like most other guys, they just watched football and the Hallmark Channel, but no, you're watching the debates. That's good. That's good. Yeah, folks, Oat is our new announcer. Welcome to the Silver Scene, Oat.
Thank you very much.
Oat's real name is Bill, but we can't call him that. It would just be too confusing. You know, my name's Bill, his name is Bill. Bill is just another name, really, until you put a Hillary in front of it. Then everyone knows who you're talking about. Am I right, Oat?
Well, yes, sort of.
You know, I have to wonder, if Hillary were to win, would Bill Clinton become the first man? And is that something America really needs right now? Can't you just picture him roaming around the White House, nothing to do? Probably wouldn't get in their way too much, though. You know, it'd probably be easier keeping tabs on the family dog. I mean, at least the dog only chases his own tail. Actually, I'm kidding. Bill and Hillary are very close. You know, I have it on good authority that after every romantic interlude, Bill tells her, "Honey, I'll be home in 20 minutes." I'm being mean. But what about Trump? Trump, you gotta love this guy. The man has no filter. Even he doesn't know what he's gonna say next. And if Donald Trump were to win, now would his lovely wife Melania be okay with moving into a smaller house? I don't think so. Probably not looking to downsize right now, you know. Some people wonder, Donald has had all these beautiful women he's been married to. This is like his third wife or something. What do these women see in him? Well, other than $10 billion in high cholesterol. It's a circus, it's a political circus. But no matter how it turns out, it promises to be entertaining, if nothing else. As will our show be today, very entertaining. Don Ringgold will be talking to us about the benefits of foam insulation and how it can save you a lot of money. Allison Wheatley, owner of Dreamcatcher Horse Ranch, she's going to talk about her mission to save horses in distress. And on the lighter side, we have Joe Baltzell, Mr. Entertainer, as he calls himself. I understand he brought a special guest with him. Looking very forward to that. And it all starts right after this, so stick with us. And right after the commercial break, we'll get this show on the road.
This segment is supported by a production grant from the following.
Norwegians are free to do everything under the sun. Free to cruise at their own speed. Free to explore their own way. Free to discover a new world of taste. Free to smile wider, applaud louder. Free to live fuller, deeper, and closer. That's how you cruise like a Norwegian. Norwegian Cruise Line is the Caribbean's leading cruise line, sailing year-round.
Welcome back, folks. Oh, who do we have up next?
Bill, the next guest will be Allison Wheatley.
Allison, welcome to the show. So nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
I guess we should start by you telling us what brought you to Florida.
Well, the obvious one is sunshine. Everybody wants the sunshine. It felt like I'd been born in the wrong country. It's the best answer I can give you.
You still must miss Britain, though.
Not really, no. That sounds terrible. No, I've been here 17 years now.
Yeah.
My family's here. Our roots are here. We're citizens now, and we just love it.
Great. What is the mission of the Dreamcatchers?
Our mission is to bring in horses that have been abused, starved, abandoned, or just basically can't be cared for anymore. and bring them back into health, but also to give them a new purpose in life and either find them a new owner that will take care of them for the rest of their lives. Or sometimes we keep them because we actually run a riding program with activities for all ages and abilities to come out and enjoy our facility. So it's basically a facility that people can come to and get out of the house, get off the computer, get off the phone, come and be around animals, get some therapy, and just enjoy what we've brought to the community.
Now, I understand the horse ranch part. Rescue center, you think, of course, unfortunately, people treat animals cruelly. And it's the same with horses, just like dogs and cats. You actually have horses that you rescue and all?
Absolutely. It's frightening.
Were you dealing with horses before you came to Florida and in Britain?
No, that's a good story. I, like many thousands of little girls all over the world,
Wanted a
just
pony.
wanted the pony, love horses. I had a very tough childhood. Basically, there was no physical way to own a horse, take riding lessons or anything like that. I was bullied badly at school. I had no friends. So as a child, I used to go out into my village where there were horses and just hang out with them and talk to them. And I just felt a connection.
Yeah, I'm sure. They're very mystical creatures.
Oh.
They really are.
Yeah.
I could see we can get really close to horse, just like a dog or a cat or anything else.
Absolutely.
We have some more we're going to cover here. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
This segment is supported by a production grant from the following.
Grand Oaks Manor is an exclusive luxury home community located on the western border of the Villages on Rainy Trail, County Road 472. Come visit us.
Katina Pantazis, wills, trusts, probate, Medicaid planning, serving the Villages with free office consultations. Call today, 352-600-2987.
And we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. We're sitting here speaking with Allison, who runs the Dreamcatcher Horse and Rescue Center. Tell me, what was one of your most favorite or most memorable horse rescues?
Well, there's been many, but one which I think would touch the hearts of many people is we've received a phone call from a guy in the Lake County community. He'd heard about us and wanted us to take his horse. He couldn't afford to care for him anymore, and he said, "Can you come get him today? Because I've not been able to feed him for 3 weeks."
Oh, jeez.
Now, a horse can't go without food for a couple of days, never mind 3 weeks.
Jeez.
And this poor horse was on a dry pasture. He'd had no grain. He'd had water, but he was a living skeleton. I do have a photo if you want to see him.
Sure, yeah.
This is when we picked him up. He
yeah.
was just a living skeleton. And he was just 6 years old. So he was a baby.
How long did it take did we get him back to normal, healthy?
We sure did.
How long did that take?
On average, it takes about 2 to 4 months. Luckily, this horse, being young, was able to fight. And through the vet giving us a special diet and daily care, this is what he looks like now.
Here's the after picture.
Yep.
Ah, nice. Happy horse.
And we did adopt him to a new family, and he's enjoying being a trail riding horse for the new family.
Oh, that's great. That's really a worthy cause that you're working on. Now, if someone wanted to help you with any of this, how would they go about that?
Well, there's several ways they can help. I mean, the main way, obviously, is financial. We struggle to bring in money to run the rescue because we're not government funded, we're self-funded. Mm-hmm. So the majority of our income comes in from a riding program that we offer to the community. We rehabilitate the horses, and some of them we keep and do riding lessons for children or adults. We do trail rides, pony rides, birthday parties, summer camps, even corporate events. We've had German BlackBerry Telecom over and did a corporate event. We had a Western evening with entertainment. Any money that we get come in goes straight back into the non-profit, so that we can afford to feed the animals and pay for their vet care and other care that they need.
Could you tell us if people wanted to get in touch with you and exactly where you're at and all?
Yeah, we're actually just south of the winery, and our address is 10639 Toad Road, Claremont.
Toad Road.
Toad Road, just like the frog.
You want to see the horses, you got to take Toad Road.
Toad Road.
I love it.
And the zip code's 34715. Any GPS will bring you straight to us. It's best to call ahead to make an appointment so we can make sure someone's there to show you around.
Right.
The phone number is 407-702-8332. You can also text that number. And if you'd like more information on us, you can check out our website. It's www.dreamcatcherhorses.com. And we're also on Facebook under Dreamcatcher Horses.
Great. That's a great thing you're doing. God bless you for doing it. And it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I welcome.
Thank you.
Wish you all the luck in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back after this, folks.
This segment is supported by a production grant from the following.
The Silver Scene is a show geared for the active senior. If you're tired of us being the brunt of TV jokes or seeing talk shows with guests younger than our grandchildren, watch your friends and neighbors on The Silver Scene. We're looking for people with interesting life stories to be on our show. So if you would like to be a guest, call us at 352-552-4785. We want to talk to you. If you're in the business world trying to reach the active senior market and you think your product meets our standards, call us. We would like to talk to you as well.
Our next guest, Doug Ringgold.
Thank you. Oh, Doug, welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Good to have you with us. We're going to talk about foam. And I have to be honest with you here. I don't know. Being a happy homeowner, I should know a little bit more about foam. And I imagine most homeowners don't. The only foam I'm familiar with is the foam that sits on top of my glass of draft beer. So let's start out by you just telling us exactly what is foam.
Well, there's really two different types of foam. We have an injection product that can be injected into both wood or block walls. It's non-expanding so that it can be put into a wood wall without blowing the sheetrock off of it. And then we have spray foam. We have both open cell and closed cell spray foam that's sprayed on the underside of the roof deck. The reason why we sprayed on the underside of the roof deck in a southern climate is to keep the heat out of the attic. Traditional insulation is installed on the floor of the attic, allowing the attic to get hot, the ductwork to get hot, and everything else. And when we install foam on the underside of the roof deck, we're actually stopping the heat from going into the attic. The attic temperatures are typically somewhere between 3 and 5 degrees warmer than the house is in the middle of summertime in the middle of the afternoon.
Okay. Now, so other insulation is fiberglass, right?
Yeah.
There's fiberglass, there's foam.
Yes.
Okay, and the foam, you blow it in with a gun, just.
Yeah, well, it's a $100,000 piece of equipment that comes out there, and basically we use highly trained people. It's a chemical process comes together in the gun. You shot against the roof deck. It expands at anywhere from 10 to 130 times what we sprayed on as, and typically installation is about 5.5 inches of foam. Your traditional insulations, when laid on the floor of the attic, kind of the R-value system was developed in Minnesota, where you get a 75-degree house and a 25-degree attic. But here we got 150-degree attics and a 75-degree house, so what would be considered R30 in fiberglass actually in a southern climate acts like about R6.
Okay. So there's a lot of advantages in having foam over fiberglass.
Yeah, the biggest advantage is energy savings. Traditional insulation, the hotter it is out, the less it works. So in the middle, and then with as little as 30% moisture, which in the middle of summertime when we've got high humidity, both cellulose and fiberglass can lose quite a bit of its R value, where with foam it's unaffected by moisture. It's a true R value. So when we put an R20 on the underside of the roof deck, we're actually blocking 100% of the heat from entering the envelope at all.
Okay. Now, does it make any difference if you have a wood frame home or a stucco home?
No, makes no difference. We use this exact same product on existing homes. We use a product called InsulSmart. It is injected either into the block and filling the actual core of the block, or in a wood-built or frame-built house, we're drilling a hole every 16 inches in between each cavity of the wall, and we're getting 100% fill there. Department of Energy says that if you just get an air seal, which is what foam will do, you'll save 40% on your utility bill. We're not only getting 40% savings because of the air seal, we're also getting additional insulation.
Okay, you just answered my next question for you. I was going to ask what the return of investment would be, and you're saying at least 40%?
Yeah, 40 to 60% is what we quote. My house before the one I'm in now, my bill was $762 on a 4,400 square foot house. After foam, it was $142. So that's about an 82% savings over traditional insulation. It's a house built in the 50s. Now I've moved into a house that was built in 2002, had R30 insulation in walls, R19 and or R30 in attic, R19 in the walls. We injected the walls. We spray foamed the attic. The previous owner's bills were running between $350 and $400 a month. Ours are running around $80 a month.
Wow. So it is a good return. It pays for itself after a while.
Yeah, very quickly. It's, in our particular case, the summertime we're saving about $270. Wintertime we're saving right around $150.
Great. We're going to talk some more about this. We have to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, folks.
This segment is supported by a production grant from the following.
If you're wondering who to call, where to go, or what to do in and around the Villages, go online to villages1.com, the Everything Villages website. You'll find clubs and activities, movie guides, classified ads, community news and information, coupons, discounts, and more, all on this one convenient and complete website. Check it out now on your laptop, iPad, or phone. Villages1.com, the Everything Villages website.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. We're speaking with Doug Ringgold, and we're talking about insulation, foam insulation in particular. We're going to see some video. Now, you did a house in Dunellen.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that while we roll the video?
Okay. Basically, you got a 3,200 square foot house out in Dunellen. We had gone in and did spray foam on the underside of the roof deck. We had done spray foam on the walls, basically sealing the entire home. What we ended up with on that is we took a house that traditionally would, and 3,200 square feet, would take about a 7-ton air conditioner, brought it down to air conditioning, I think with 2.5 tons. So we took about 2 tons of AC out of there, completely sealing the attic, completely sealing the walls. And basically their first utility bill, middle of summer, was $118. Now, out of that bill, $9.99 of that was for their home wiring, so that didn't count. Then they had about $41 for charging their electric car on this particular house. So you're really looking at a final electric bill on a 3,200 square foot house with 10-foot ceilings, first and second floor, with a bill of about $68.
So now, my house has the fiberglass laying down there. If I want to save a ton of money, because that is a huge savings, what you did for those folks. If I want to save this kind of money, can I just go ahead and shoot foam right in there over my existing?
No, what we actually do is we come in and we remove the existing insulation off of the floor of the attic. Cellulose, after about 10 years, is a fire hazard, and fiberglass is a human carcinogen.
And it itches.
Yeah, it's not the nicest stuff in the world.
No, it isn't.
And anytime we have open soffits and things like that, we've got animals and things going into the attic, leaving some things behind that we don't want in there.
Yeah.
So we remove all the insulation off the floor of the attic, and that way we've got a nice clean slate to start out with. Then we spray in the soffits, we spray in the ventilation, we spray the entire roof deck, just like we did at the house in Dunellen, essentially recreating exactly what we can do on a new construction house.
Foam is the way to go. You can save some money.
Definitely. I've been doing this for 42 years, and it never ceases to amaze me. I've been a GC for about 30 years now, and kind of gave up with the building of the houses and everything else because I just love the foam business.
Now, if folks are interested in saving money and they want to use the foam, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, they can call us at 352-460-4430 or at 877-610-FOAM. And that's 877-610-FOAM.
610-FOAM.
Or they can find us on the web at foamyourhome.net.
Okay. That's been very informative. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
Bill.
Thanks for
Appreciate
being on
it.
the show. We'll be right back, folks.
This segment is supported by a production grant from the following.
I've lived in the Villages for 5 years. I called Bone Dry Roofing. They came out immediately to give me an estimate on how much it would cost to either repair or replace. I chose replace. The gentlemen that came out to do the work were extremely professional and so polite. I could not be more satisfied with Bone Dry Roofing.
We believe in a quality product and a satisfied customer every job, every time.
Bill, allow me to introduce to you Joe Baltzell.
Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Nice to have
Thank
you with us now.
Thank
I hear
you.
you're a singer, a comedian, a promoter, and just an all-around swell guy. Is that true?
Every word is true, Bill.
Okay, well, my first question for you, sir, is what brought you to Florida?
Well, I was born in Philadelphia, and I raised 5 kids, and I became a record promoter, and then I moved to Atlantic City, and after a few years there, I wanted to move to Florida, and that's what happened.
So you came, well, it's a law in New Jersey. You reach a certain age, you have to move to Florida, right?
I think it is unwritten.
Yes, and so you came down to Florida, and how did you end up in the Villages?
Well, I was riding my bicycle on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, and I told my friend Tommy Severa that I was moving to Florida. And he said, "Where?" And I said, "Clearwater. I want to be near the beach like I was in Atlantic City." He said, No, forget that. You want to check out the Villages." I said, "I know all about that. There's nothing there but old people." He said, No, check it out. They're singing and dancing every night, just what you like to do. So I said, "Okay, I'll come down to the Villages, spend a week, get out of there and go to Clearwater." Well, the first day I called this lady from the Singles Club. Now there's over 2,000 clubs in the Villages. At the time, 12 years ago when I first moved, there was about 200. So I called the girl from the Singles Club. I said, "I have nothing to do. I only have a golf cart." She said, "Well, we're going to go to Katie Bell's for beers." And I said, "Yes, I can do that." So then from there we go to Katie Bell's to have beers, and I walk in and I look at Katie Bell's and I said, "Oh, well, yes, this is it." Because I love the ambiance. You know, I could see Wyatt Earp walking down the stairs there. And I saw that stage and I said, someday I'm going to sing on that stage. And I've been on that stage about 6 times with different shows and things like that. So I was lucky I got to the Villages.
So you've done a lot.
Back in the day, I started out with Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. And believe it or not, in those days, they had what they call record hops. I took Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons to 5 record hops in one night in my own personal car.
So you'd unload them, they'd sing Ragdoll, you'd load them back up and take them to the
Well, at the time it was Sherry. It was Sherry.
Okay.
And they didn't have to sing. All they did was lip sync.
Sure.
They ran up, the kids knew them, the kids were screaming.
Yeah.
They did their 3-minute lip sync and out into my car and off to the next hop. And then from there I got lucky and I worked with Elektra Records and I was working with Queen, Freddie Mercury and Queen, Carly Simon, Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles.
Awesome, talented people there.
At one time, we had the top 3 albums in the world.
Yeah.
Number 1, 2, and 3, which hardly ever happens. Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles, and Hotel California, and Queen, with Killer Queen. So
all these people you worked with, who was your favorite?
My favorite actually was Tony Orlando.
Yeah.
Because anytime I ever needed him to do me a favor, because that's how I used to get airplay, payola. Payola used to be giving out money.
Oh, yeah.
If I didn't give out money, I would have Tony come and do a favor, and these guys would make $3,000 in a night at a record hop, and then I would say, "Hey, buddy, you know, I made you $3,000. You need to play my record."
Sure.
And I got my records played.
Wow, that's great.
But Tony Orlando was a gentleman and still is. We just saw him a week ago. I honestly cried the blues, and I got his publicity people, and they got me 2 tickets, front and center, at the Sharon to see Tony Orlando. Backstage passes where he signed my pictures again.
Yeah.
I have pictures of him that I would bring to every time I'd see him, and he would sign another nice little blurb in there complimenting me on what I did for his record career.
Okay, now I see you have some pictures of yesteryear there when you were with Tony Orlando and Dawn. Is Dawn still around?
Well, I'll show you that. That's the third one. The first one was the kind of thing that Tony would do for the Leukemia Society. And there was Helen Reddy. Helen Reddy's there, along with me and a couple of DJs and Tony Orlando. This is another one of my favorite shots. It's not Tony Orlando. It's when I met Neil Sedaka, and I had to work his records. And the interesting thing about this picture here is George Martin is in the picture. George Martin was the producer for the Beatles.
Sure, yeah.
And he was like one of the biggest names in the music business. This is a kind of a funny story. The day before the last show here that I just saw a week ago with Tony Orlando, I was at a garage sale, and I see this album for $1. And there's Tony Orlando and Dawn's picture, and I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great if he would sign that for me? And I brought it, and he signed it, and there it is.
Oh.
It turned out really super.
Now, you still entertain.
Still entertain. I'm doing a lot of nursing homes.
Yeah.
Because I resemble that remark. And they love me, and I love them.
I hear you also brought a special guest with you today.
Yes, I did. You're going to like it when you see him.
Okay, and we will be seeing him right after this commercial break, folks. Stay with us.
This segment is supported by a production grant from the following.
Downtown Leesburg has never looked or sounded this cool. That's right, Sip Restaurant, Jazz and Wine Bars come to town, and it's changed everything. We turn down the lights and turn up the live jazz entertainment for that active nightlife experience you've been looking for. The ambiance is edgy, the artwork is right up there with the best, and our vast assortment of beers and wine will keep you coming back time and again. So bring your spouse to the classiest jazz and wine bar around. Come to Sip Restaurant on Main Street for the time of your life.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Our special guest has just arrived. The limo has pulled up. He will need no introduction. He was 10 minutes late, but his nose was on time. Welcome our special guest. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, hello, hello. What a good-looking group we have here today. Is everybody happy? You look happy. I know how to be happy. You gotta start each day with a song. Ink-a-dink-a-dink, a-dink-a-dink-a-dink-a-doo. They don't write love songs like that anymore, do they, folks? Did anybody see the movie Sleepless in Seattle? Wasn't that a great movie? Did you know I had a hit song in that movie? You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. What do you think of that, ladies and gentlemen? Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Thank you, thank you. I love the Villages. Does everybody love the Villages? I know you do. The trouble with the Villages is most of my friends are hard of hearing. My friend said he bought a hearing aid for $10,000. I said, that's a lot of money. He said, it's state of the art, the best they ever made. I said, what kind is it? He said, it's $330. My other friend Charlie was heading down the turnpike towards Orlando, and his wife called him on the cell phone and said, Charlie, be careful. There's a guy going the wrong way on the turnpike. Charlie said, one? There must be hundreds. I called her, I said, honey, I'm coming home early tonight. Put on some nice soft music and a couple glasses of wine. We're going to have a wild time. She said, who is this? Now I'm going to say goodnight to somebody out there. Does anybody know who I'm going to say goodnight to? You got it. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Ah, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.